Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Roberta Masson, my favorite person in the world, is here with us today. And
Whoa, that's
yes,
quite an introduction.
welcome to Laughter Talks. I'm Marguerite Fair, and this is my lovely and talented guest. Now, you know that Ask Roberta E is the show we're going to do today, but first, let me I always like to introduce my guests for those of you that might be coming to see this for the first time. Let me tell you more about Roberta. Roberta, I'm going to do an introduction for you because I love to do that. Now, Roberta E. Basson is known for her compelling portrayals of a variety of interesting characters and for TV and stage. And Roberta has also appeared in many, many television commercials as well. And I have been privileged to have Roberta do several readings and action readings of my play, Your Late Mother. And she always did a fantastic job. I mean, whoa,
My head's gonna get so big, I
I
won't
know,
hold it up.
I know. Now, one of her greatest joys as an actress and writer has also been performing in her one woman show, which is Amelia Earhart. I'm holding up her book now, in her own words. And she has authored this companion book to her project. Amelia Earhart, Me and Our Friends, Journaling the Journey, the Amelia Earhart Self Help Book. And this is a must read. I mean, it's fantastic, but I'll tell you something. I can't wait till she's so smart. We want to ask Roberta E questions, but first, I have seen your show, and I have to tell this to everyone. And you did it at Santa Monica in the hangar out there.
Yeah, the
And
Santa Monica
so,
Museum of Flying is where it
so
all began.
I know. I want to just throw this ball right into your court because you are going to be doing another show. So I'd like you to tell a little bit about your show, and then after that, you can let us know where and when we can see it.
Oh, well, thank you, Marguerite, my
You're
wonderful dear
welcome.
Marguerite. You've been supportive throughout my career since we met eons ago for your play. So I wrote and I performed the play Amelia Earhart, Me and Our, no, Amelia Earhart in her own words. My book is Amelia Earhart, Me and Our Friends, but we're all friends here.
That's right.
So the reason it's called Amelia Earhart in her own words is because the entire play is her words. I'm by nature a historian. That was my major in college. I love history. I'm a stickler for facts, and I love research. So this play, which I wrote a long time ago, and it was first performed at the Museum of Flying in Santa Monica. And then people just loved it. I mean, I'm really happy to say.
It's amazing. It's like being in person with Amelia. It's really true. You completely just that is who you become.
Wow, that's very nice of you, and that's what my goal is. And and I had the opportunity also to perform it for Amelia Earhart's stepson, and that was one of the highlights of my career because I held my breath during that because I thought, okay, if he likes it and he verifies that all that I am, right on this performance.
What did he say? I mean, they
He
must have
said,
loved
he
it.
said, he and his wife both said, we can see Amelia Earhart is a part of you.
Oh,
And yes, and so I was so grateful for that. And I got to know George Palmer Putnam Jr., which is his name, and his wife Marie. They have since passed on, I'm sad to say.
wow.
But um, yes, I've had these wonderful highlights in my life just because I happened to write this play, uh, and and I've got to meet all these famous people in aviation and had these wonderful experiences. So and so for your viewers, Amelia Earhart, as we know, became one of the most famous women in modern history. known the world over. And all because it started out as she was the first woman to fly across the Atlantic, but as a passenger. We
Wow.
forget that she was not flying the plane, that women had not even been in an airplane to cross the Atlantic.
Wow,
From,
that's really
yeah,
something. That's a good bit of history to be reminded about.
yes, and also yesterday was International Women's History Month.
I know, I saw your
When this
post.
airs, but it was the was yesterday the 8th. Am I correct on that?
Yes, I believe so,
Yes.
yes.
So Amelia Earhart really embodied the trying to lift women up and get them into promote all kinds of professions.
She was ahead of her time. She really was a woman ahead of her time.
Yes, that is true. And she had this fame that she did not expect, and she used it to elevate the status of women. And that's what she said.
How
And in all
wonderful.
professions. And it was always something of interest to her from early on. Her scrapbooks, and she kept scrapbooks growing up about women becoming police officers,
Wow.
and directors, and women who were entering fields that were considered male dominated.
She was a visionary. I mean, that's a visionary. She was
Oh,
amazing.
yes.
Roberta, can I ask, was it when you were in school and you were working on your projects that you first happened to latch on to her story? When did that take you? Now, when did that take you over?
It's just, I think like Amelia Earhart, she became interested in flying. It wasn't something she had thought about. She just happened to see planes taking off
Wow.
when she was living in Canada. She was working as a nurse's aide. It was World War I, and she knew, this just fascinated her, and she took her first flight. And I always say it's a passion organic, I call it. Well, I think that's everything in life. Is we don't necessarily think that hard about what we want. A lot of times it's just something that enters our life suddenly, just like any like someone you might fall in love with, or
Well, how long ago was it that you first fell in love with doing this story? You said you wrote it. How long ago was it that you did
oh
that?
my goodness. Well, I I did a full-length play, and then 10 years after that, I had put it away. And then 10 years later, Women in Theater were looking for historical plays for Women History Month. And so I submitted it. They picked it up. They got you the free venue, which was Santa Monica Museum of the Santa Monica Flight Museum and Airport. And then I performed it there on weekends for a month. And then people just start wanting to hire me to do it.
Yeah.
And so it kind of took off from there. And that was, so this production is very exciting, that's coming up, which is
Tell us where it's going to be and when it is. I'm excited.
Yes, it's at the Camarillo Public Library in Camarillo, California. The reason, of course, it's so exciting is it's my first live performance post-COVID.
Yay!
So it's live theater. It's free to the public at 2:00. And I will.
And the date?
Yes, the date is March 19th. That's a Saturday. Okay. And it's the Camarillo Library is exquisite. And also, those of you who love shopping, the huge outlet of all the best stores you can imagine with great prices is only 10 minutes from the library in Camarillo. So a little carrot there.
Oh, that's wonderful. So people can go out that way and they can spend the whole day there. They can shop, have lunch, go see your show, and make a day of it.
It's a beautiful area. Right. It
Well,
is beautiful.
Roberta, I thank you so much for sharing that because, as we always say here, now everybody have to go through. And Roberta, for people that want to contact you separately, like how do people contact you these days? How do you like to be contacted?
Oh, well, it's very easy now. You can go on to Instagram or Facebook are the two
Okay,
dominant social medias that I use
okay, okay.
predominantly, and I will answer you as soon as I see those messages.
Yeah,
And so,
because
yeah, and follow
oh
me, and
yeah,
follow Marguerite.
yeah. Well, I
Just
do, and I'll
because,
I'll I'll make sure also that I put these up here because people can follow you. Maybe they want to contact you about doing a show for their
right,
organization or their even private parties. So
right. And
this is a good.
if they are interested in the book, they can find it on Amazon.com,
Oh yes,
or
here's our
I
book
could
again.
I can send them an autographed copy, which they could request through Instagram, and
Yeah,
I can, and then they
yeah.
can Venmo me.
There's a nice
Oh,
back picture
oh,
too. Look at that. I love it. And
yes,
really, this
that's a
is
real sneaky. What that picture, by the way, the book has lots and lots of great photos, but that one on the back is a
yeah.
very, very,
Let's
very rare photo of Amelia Earhart,
yeah. Let's look at
because
that.
something people don't usually think of her as, she was a fashionista. She had her own clothing
Oh,
line, and yes, so that outfit, if you look, is
wow.
very well coordinated and quite lovely.
Okay, so everybody, you have to get this book. Go see Roberta's show, and that's available on Amazon.
Thank
That's
you,
this has been
Marguerite.
very special. And now, what we're going to do, you know what I want next? We have a couple of people that act what they did actually this time. They sent in videos asking their questions.
Oh,
So, what I'd like to do now is we're segueing now, Roberta. This is the person, her name is Sadie, and she has a very, very important question for Ask Roberta E, because as you know, we really value your advice, and this woman needs help. So let's let everybody see Sadie asking the question. Okay, everybody, here's Sadie and her question.
Advice from Roberta E. My 22-year-old boyfriend asked me to marry him. Now, I do like him, but I don't know if I want to spend the rest of my life with one man. What should I do?
Should do.
well, Sadie sounds like a hot, hot lady. She
I,
sounds like she's enjoying life. She's got this 22-year-old boyfriend who apparently is head over heels in love with her.
we should all
Uh,
be so lucky.
well, she sounds like a smart lady too, because she's not she's thinking maybe, she should not take his proposal. I have to, in an ideal situation, I have to agree with her on that, because of the youth. He's so young. He maybe he's going to want children eventually.
Ooh.
Is she going to want to? I'm assuming, I know there's miracles and I know there's medical science, but is that something she would even want to be tied down with, even if he wanted to adopt children? And
Exactly.
what phase is he in his life, and what phase is she in her life?
Yeah.
So I I would say that it would be best if they can keep this relationship maybe just as significant others. They can live together if she so chooses. But it sounds like she wants actually more freedom, and he is head over
Yeah.
heels. And this isn't that an unusual situation.
Exactly.
I hear free to maybe be
Well,
see other
that's the
people.
impression I get that she wants to be a free bird.
Right. And if she wants to be a free bird, it doesn't matter what age her partner is, it's not going to work. She
Exactly.
needs to have that freedom.
Sadie,
They
did you,
know that.
Sadie, I hope you heard that. This is Ask Roberta Eat. Roberta gave you some very good advice. So I hope you take that to heart. And thank you. That was a good answer, Roberta. And now what we're going to do is we have another caller, and her name is Priscilla. So
Hi, Priscilla.
let us stop and and listen to and see what does Priscilla need from us. name is Priscilla, and my granddaughter lives with me, and I'm very concerned about her. She's 28, and a couple of months ago, her boyfriend broke up with her. And what's going on now is all she does is sit home and she drinks a lot and she's watching zombie movies and started watching serial killer documentaries. I'm very concerned about her. What would you suggest I do, Roberta? I really need some answers. What advice would you give Priscilla? This seems to be a big problem.
So Priscilla is housing her granddaughter who broke up with a boyfriend
Yes.
and now sounds very depressed and
To
is
say the
putting
least.
all her energy or lack of such into watching zombie videos and now videos about serial killers.
Yeah, that's scary.
She sounds like she's going down a rabbit hole, and this girl needs help. And I can see why, as the caring grandmother, Priscilla would reach out
Yeah.
to somebody. And so I'm glad she reached out. I would hope that it's very hard to get help for somebody because she's 22 years old. It has to be her own initiative to call a counseling center and talk with somebody. But this girl needs to have a life outside of the house, and she's apparently become somewhat agoraphobic. She's
Yeah.
isolating herself. I'm curious if the grandmother has tried to get her out of the house by, taking her out. It sounds like the girl is kind of focused into that. So, if the grandmother knows any of her friends, maybe former girlfriends, it would be great if she could call them and maybe they could invite her granddaughter to some events, some parties, or just have her go out to lunch if she can get that.
Yeah.
If she can the grandmother, it sounds like the girl needs some counseling, but and get her involved in some hobbies. She must have some hobbies, or she can just you don't unplug things anymore, I guess. And everybody has cell phones. See, am I dated? So she probably watches these things on her. Perhaps the grandmother might suggest that she get a little job, any kind of a job, to get her out of the house and pull her out. Because
that's all great advice. And Priscilla, I hope you have listened to this. And also, if she's too resistant, and let Granny Tino just add something onto that. Priscilla, if she starts buying knives and weapons, you need to call for help immediately and have her go to a 72-hour lockup, or as they do in an instant, a step. So your ways are all the first steps to take. But if she gets violent, get some help. And as Roberta said, the counseling, because that's very, very helpful.
She's probably, or find her a new boyfriend. Find her a new boyfriend.
Oh God, when all else fails, maybe.
Oh, you know what? Go on the dating sites.
Yeah. Maybe she'll find a new boyfriend and all this will be over with. So
hopefully not a zombie or a serial killer.
I know. She might. I always say to everybody, have a great day and protect your immune system. It's only one per customer. Take care of your health. Okay.
Thank you,
Roberta. Thank you so much again. Bye, everybody. Bye, Roberta. See you again.